Manchester City entered the season as reigning European champions and treble winners, without a doubt the best footballing side on the planet. And yet, they were also the subject of much questioning, particularly with regard to their squad depth. They said goodbye to some big names in the summer, most notably Ilkay Gundogan and Riyad Mahrez, then very late in the summer Cole Palmer. When you also consider Kevin De Bruyne sustained a serious hamstring injury in game week 1, the worries felt fair. But concerns were quelled when a string of incredibly talented players were brought in to replace the old guard, and they have begun the Premier League campaign with, 6 straight wins. They look as slick as ever. But perhaps the signings were a red herring, and it's less about who has come in and more about who has stepped up. And that's where Julian Alvarez enters the conversation, who is having the time of his life in this Man City team right now. Alvarez has started every significant game Man City have played this season, which is all 6 Premier League bouts plus the Champions League opener. He's racked up 4 goals and 3 assists in the process and has been one of City's very best players so far. And when you consider the company he keeps, that is quite the feat. He was the only player to score a perfect 10 rating in the Champions League in game week 1. His 8 shots, 2 goals and 7 key passes eventually crushing a Red Star Belgrade. When we say he's having the time of his life right now, we mean it. Pep Guardiola has given him a hybrid role as an attacking midfielder / second striker, lining up close to Erling Haaland and alongside Phil Foden in the centre of the pitch. Here's an example 11 from the game against Red Star. Sometimes he and Foden swap from left to right depending on the fixture, but they're always working the centre of the pitch. Now this role looks like a lot of fun, because Guardiola's system has a way of creating huge amounts of space for central players. The wingers stay touchline wide to create as much width as possible, while Haaland hangs on the defender's shoulders, creating as much depth as possible. All of that space in the centre? That's for Alvarez and Foden and the others to enjoy. It's obvious that he's been told to stay close to Haaland where possible, giving him support. That takes him into the box frequently, or into the half spaces, meaning the best description we can really give this role is probably shadow striker, as he's half number 10, half number 9. He's happy to dart wide to receive the ball in stride, or simply drift out wide to find space. When he does the latter, it's because some teams, like Sheffield United and West Ham for example, try to block the middle, meaning he needs to move elsewhere to find the space. The real danger he poses, though, is with late runs into the box. Sometimes teams are so focused on Haaland, committing so many men to keeping an eye on him, they lose sight of Alvarez, who can time late runs into the box. This is where the striker in him really comes out, as seen in the opener against Fulham. Haaland makes a run in behind the defence, and Kovacic's pass finds him in stride. Both centre-backs are worried about Haaland. Meanwhile, Alvarez times a run into the box, out of sight. Haaland then sends the ball low across the box for Alvarez to tap home. Simple, but brilliant. He can also turn creator himself, like against West Ham, when he sat in the pocket and flicked a brilliant ball into the box for Bernardo Silva to hook home. Bear in mind that West Ham had all 11 players behind the ball here, and Alvarez only has about 22 yards of pitch to operate in. It is remarkable precision. The prowess of his delivery has been recognised by the club, evidenced by the fact he's taken 31 corners this season and scored a free kick, stepping into the De Bruyne set-piece void. He also provides an enviable work rate and off-the-ball mentality that means he can press and defend from the front to a very high level. Now, it's very unlikely that Guardiola planned to use Alvarez anywhere near as much as he has this season, but he has hinted they'll have to give the Argentinian a rest soon. But then again, who could have foreseen this chain of events? Key departures in the summer and an immediate De Bruyne injury have called for Alvarez to step up, and he has done so. Not only does he look like one of the most devastating attackers in world football right now, but he's also playing a role that looks incredibly fun. Believe it or not, that can be hard to come by in Pep's system, as he's so specific about what players do. So in more than one way, Alvarez is breaking new ground on the way to success.